Ladies and gentlemen, She-Hulk episode 2. I'm not calling it She-Hulk Attorney at Law. That's stupid and it takes too long. SuperHuman Law is the title of this episode. And it's your boy Icon with a little Marvel TV. And I will say right out the gate, my immediate thoughts on this episode: rushed. That is the word that ran through my mind the entire episode. Rushed. This whole thing is rushed. And it was short. It was like 22 minutes. So anyway, so this particular episode starts where, remember, Jennifer Walters, she had just hulked out in the courtroom when she was about to do her dissertation, or she was about to do her closing statement, and she beat up some random villain and then, she hulked out in front of the world to see. So now everybody knows that she can transform and they know that she's a metahuman. The public, obviously, that they did corny jokes of them naming her the She-Hulk. And of course, because this is a show about feminism and power and female empowerment, they went out of their way for her to explain why being named She-Hulk is somehow degrading, because she's not her own person. She's just, like a female copy of, of like the Incredible Hulk, of like Bruce, and she still kept the name anyway. So I didn't see what was the point of even having that scene. It's like, if you're going to make a big deal out of the fact that you're just like, like a female, like Hulk, you're not your own person. They're not viewing you as your own individual person. If you're going to make that argument, change your name. Like, if you're not gonna change your name, don't make the argument. So, so she accepts the Hulk thing. Like, for some reason, the bar, everybody was like rooting for her. Had they know she was gonna be at the bar, everybody wanted her to see her. And then once everybody saw her and they cheered her, nobody bothered her while she was sitting down. So she hulked out. She was having drinks with her friend, and then they were just talking. Then suddenly they find out that she got fired. Her boss basically said, listen, when you came out and you hulked out in front of the world to see, people saw that. Like, that was plastered all over, like all over the television. So now that everybody knows that, now that everybody knows you're a superhero, we kind of don't want, like that kind of heat, because it's like bad press for us. So we're going to have to, he said, we appreciate you saving everybody and protecting everybody, but we're going to have to let you go now, because he was like, we lost the case on top of that too, because, the trial got dismissed by the, by the opposing, by the defendant, like the defendant team. Like, they ended up like getting the case thrown out because they were just like, yo, this chick just like hulked out on live TV. So now she's fired. She ain't got no job. And there was like a montage of her like looking for work. She's trying to find work. She can't find work because nobody wants to take a chance on hiring an Incredible Hulk, let alone like a female Hulk. She goes home to go talk to her family, to be around family, and her dad is cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers, if I think that's him. If so, that's very cool. She was talking to her dad about what her next steps were and what she was gonna do and everything, and her dad was just like, don't worry about it. He was like, you'll pull through. So now she's hitting rock bottom. She ain't got no money. She ain't got no job. And then suddenly the opposing law firm, like the law firm that she was going against during that trial, the head of that law firm walked into the bar and said that he wanted to offer her a job, because he told her, he said that, listen, the statement, the opening statement, or I believe it was the closing statement, that he said the closing statement that you made was a damn good statement against us. And honestly, he didn't say it, but he was basically just like, yo, based on what you bust out in court, we was gonna lose that shit. And because you hulked out, you actually saved our ass from actually losing that case. And because you were so good, he said, I want to hire you and I want to offer you a job. But then he said, take some time to think about it. And of course, because she ain't had no job and she was broke, she didn't ask any questions. She didn't ask him what she was actually going to be doing. She just said, okay, and just took the job, and then he dipped. So she ends up, but then she told him, she was just like, I want to hire my own paralegal because we got to keep her friend on the show somehow. The guy said he really didn't care, which is how I believe the audience felt. And the next day, she hulks up, and then, well, she didn't hulk up, but she gets all dressed up. She goes to her new job. When she gets to her new job, her boss tells her part of the reason, well, not even part, the reason why he hired her was because he wanted her to represent metahumans. He said that there was he said that they have a metahuman division at their law firm where they do take metahuman cases and they represent metahumans, and they want her to be the person to represent those people. But he said, we want you to represent these people as the She-Hulk, because their firm, because they do take metahuman cases, they're not afraid of the publicity. Like, they're not afraid of having a metahuman like attorney or whatever. They actually relish it because it's like good for business. Like, their firm is now going to be the talk of the town because I got this big green chick, like defending defending metahumans and doing all these cases. So, I mean, I don't know why anyone else didn't see it that way. So she takes the job, and then the first case that he says he wants her to take is the Abomination case, which is, and it was the same actor, I believe. Yeah, it was the same actor in the 2008 Edward Norton Hulk film. He was there. He was the Abomination. He was locked up. They even brought up the whole Harlem thing and everything. And after 10 years, well, no, shit, it's been more than 10 years. That was 2008. After all this time has gone by, they wanted her to represent him to get him out of prison. So, of course, she had an issue with it because she was just like, 13, 14, 15 years ago, the Abomination tried to kill my cousin Bruce. Her boss said he didn't care. And he said, if you don't take this thing, you're fired. So she ends up talking to Bruce about it. And Bruce was like, flat out, he was like, girl, that was like 20 years ago. And he said, I'm not even the same, literally, I'm not even the same Bruce Banner I was back in 2008. So he said, you already sounds like you want to take the case. So if you're going to take the case, just take the damn case. So she felt better. She said she's going to take the case. So now she's going to take the case. And then she told Bruce, she was just like, when can I see you again or something like that? And then he was just like, you won't see me for a while because the spaceship that ran them off the road in the first episode picked him up, and now he's going back to Planet Hulk, or he's going somewhere in outer space, and that was never explained. They never said where he was going, and they just glossed over that whole entire situation. So now, Bruce is gone, and I guess he ain't coming back for the rest of the series. So Mark Ruffalo has, unless he comes back in the season finale, Mark Ruffalo has fulfilled his obligation to the She-Hulk. He laughed over the name She-Hulk, and then said he dipped in, to infinity and beyond. So now Walter, she ends up actually going down to the prison to talk to the Abomination. She had a nice conversation with him. He was just like, look, I just want a new life. He said, I got like 6 women that I met through the prison pen pal program. And he said, I just want to get off. I just want to live a new life and start over, start fresh, and blah, blah, blah. So, she agreed. She called her boss back, and she was like, listen, I'll take the job. She was like, I don't want to get fired, whatever. I'll take the job. He said, good. Turn on the news and welcome aboard. She turns on the news, and then we find out that the Abomination broke out of prison, and he's engaging in underground fight clubs, and she has to defend that now. And that's how the episode ended. And thank you for tuning in. So, the episode wasn't great. It was a little boring at times, but the beginning of it to me, like the whole thing about, we still don't need, like this whole thing about like her friend, like picking her paralegal and her best friend and everything. Like, why does her friend know that she's a She-Hulk? How did they meet? How did they become best friends? Where was the conversation where she told her friend, like, hey, I have metahuman powers? Like, there's just like a whole chunk of story that's just like missing here that kind of like bothers me. And then the whole thing, like, they rushed the whole thing of getting her the name. One random person said it on the news, and now everybody's calling her the She-Hulk. It was just, it's just like this thing is like, it's just so rushed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just quickly just trying to get to, we're skipping over point A, B, and C, and we're just trying to get to D, E, and F, and G, and everything. And like I said, that like the plot holes and that kind of bothers me. The whole Bruce Banner shit better lead to something. Like, he better get a movie or pop up in some, if he pops up in Guardians of the Galaxy, I ain't gonna see that. So, but the Bruce Banner stuff needs to be explained and everything, and then the girl can still control her changes at will, and blah blah blah. So, like I said, at this point, I'm just waiting for the Sorcerer Supreme and Daredevil to see what's going on with that. But overall, we're still holding on to this. Not the greatest show in the world, but it's still not as bad as I thought it would be. So, like I said, thank you for tuning in. Hit me up on Instagram and or Twitter. Let me know what you think about this particular episode of the She-Hulk. Like, do you like it so far? Is it kind of like, yeah, like, do you hate it? Do you love it? Like, share your thoughts down below, and we will continue to talk about it. Harley Quinn is up on my YouTube channel for you DC animated fans, and on August 31st, we will be reviewing the returning season 3 of Stargirl. But, like I said, regarding the She-Hulk, I'm not really sure what else to say here. It was nice that they did, Marvel's very good at that, like bringing back like, the continuity and the actors and everything. So bringing back the dude who actually, like played the Abomination, I thought was pretty cool. But there was, like I said, even with the family, like, the family not once asked her like, oh, can you just Hulk out so we can see it? It's just like, there's just a lot of things that, you would think would happen in certain situations, and those things didn't happen, and they got glossed over, which is kind of bothering me. But, I said, we're going to do this. We're going to I agreed to do this, so we're going to ride this She-Hulk train all the way to the very end. So thanks for tuning in as always, guys. So until next time, for some more She-Hulk action for episode 3, mind your manners in court. And until then, we're out this bitch!